I think that this archive is very valuable because it's the largest archive of photographs of the 19th century, some of the oldest photographs we have, of the monuments of the island. And not only that, but also we have monuments that do not exist anymore. So these are the only proofs, the only documentation we have of the visual documentation, of course, of these monuments. So the value of this archive is superb. This is a lovely story. Some years ago, in 2006, I think, the grandson of Camille Enlart'ın, the famous photographer and art historian, came to Cyprus and he called me up. He said, you know, I want to meet you because I read your book, and in your book you write about my grandfather, Camille Enlart'ın, and I would like you to point to me where to go to see what he saw. So I said, yes, of course, we will meet. He and his wife Janine and myself met, and at that time I did not have the Center of Visual Arts and Research, I didn't have the museum, I was free. So I said, okay, I will take you around. And for 10 days I took them around Cyprus with my car and showed them all the beautiful monuments of the island. After that, a year later, he invited me to France. And my husband and I, and a Turkish Cypriot archaeologist friend of ours, Mehveş Beyidoğlu, went to France, and he hosted us in his house, which was Camille Enlart'ın's house. It went from generation to generation. And there we saw Camille Enlart'ın's office, his study room, we saw his papers, we saw paintings, his sword, his hat, and all these things. And the photographs. So I told Tijen Yakup, our host, if you ever want to part with these photographs, please remember me. I would like to have them. And he said, yes, of course, because I would also want these photographs to go back to Cyprus. Some years went by, and I was waiting for Tijen to let me know when he wanted to send the photographs. And suddenly, I saw that the Camille Enlart'ın Photographic archive was being sold in France at auction. I hit the roof. I called Tijen and I said, Tijen, but you promised. He said, of course I promised, and I'm going to keep my promise. I said, but the archive is being sold. So he said, oh my God, I am in an old people's home, and the children took over the house, and probably they decided to sell everything without telling me. Hang up the phone, I will get in touch with them, which he did. He called me back a few hours later, and he said, Rita, I am afraid I cannot withdraw the archive. Everything is already signed with the auction room, and it will be sold. But because I had promised you, and because I want this archive to come back to Cyprus, I will send you money to buy it. The estimate was 4,000 to 5,000 euro. So Tijen Yakup sent to the museum 5,000 euro to be able to buy the archive back. Of course, we bought the archive, but the price was exorbitant. It did not stay to 5,000 euros. Everybody wanted it, so they were bidding against us. But with the help of good friends, the help of my son, with the help of Ayla Gürel and Dr. Severis, etc., they all shipped in money and ourselves, and we managed to get the archive finally over 20,000 euro. But it came to Cyprus, and that was the important thing, that the archive was back to Cyprus. When we got it, I called immediately Tijen and said, hey Tijen, we got the archive. So there was this very low tone saying, okay Rita, thank you. And the phone hung up. I thought, what is wrong? Is he not happy? why do I get this reaction from such a friend? I didn't call back. I waited a few days, and then I called again, trying to see what happened. Why was he feeling this way? And of course he explained. He said, I'm terribly sorry for reacting that way the other day. A minute before your phone call, I had the sad news that Janine, my wife, had passed away, and I couldn't talk. But I'm delighted that you got the archive, and I'm really looking forward to the exhibition, and I would like to come and give a lecture, because he was an expert on medieval weaponry. So he said, yes, of course, and he sounded very, very satisfied. Unfortunately, it was not possible for Tijen Yakup to come and see the exhibition because he also passed away a few months later. This project was created within the framework of reconciliation and peaceful coexistence between these two communities of Cyprus. This is one of our main aims at the Center of Visual Arts and Research. And this cooperation with ARUCAD Arkın University was exactly for this purpose. What we wanted to do is to get students from both sides of the divide to work on rephotographing the old photographs of Enlart'ın from the same perspective, so that people could see how it was and how it is. So people could see what we lost and hopefully work that we don't lose more. I must admit that students from ARUCAD Arkın University worked really hard and produced marvelous results. Camille Enlart'ın was not only a photographer, he was an art historian, he was a researcher, and he loved the island, obviously, for spending so much time coming here twice and taking photographs of all these monuments, not only Gothic monuments, but also Byzantine monuments, Venetian monuments. He must have been in love with Cyprus. And further to that, Camille Enlart'ın photographed the people of this island. And he asked from his friends to send him extra photographs when he was in France of the people of the island. So I believe that Camille Enlart'ın wanted to write something about the people of the island, not only his book. We all know his famous book, L'Art Gothique et la Renaissance, Archieve, the Gothic art and the Renaissance in Cyprus, which is a magnificent piece of work about the monuments of the island. But he also wrote other articles in various magazines and gave lectures, magazines like The Builder, like Medusa, etc. I think also he wanted to write about the people of Cyprus. This exhibition, I feel, is a tribute to the love that Camille Enlart'ın had for us. It's also a tribute to Tijen Yakup, who wanted this archive to come back. But most of all, it's a tribute to the people of this island, both Greeks and Turks. It's a tribute to their past, and it's a beautiful way to celebrate their history and the beauty of this island. Teşekkürler ederim.
Teşekkürler.
Öncelikle projeyi ilk duyduğum andan beri çok heyecanlandığımı söyleyebilirim. Benim için ilk diyebileceğim bir deneyimdi. Hem kendi ülkem, hem okulum, hem kendi adıma çok gurur verici ve heyecan verici bir deneyimdi.
Biz bir e-mail ile davet aldık. Böyle bir arşiv çalışması olduğunu öğrendik ve ben şahsen çok heyecanlandım. Çünkü Kıbrıs aslında tarihi ve kültürel olarak çok zengin bir yer.
Yani o fotoğrafları ilk aşamada göreceğimizde büyük bir heyecanla bekledik. Fotoğrafları elimize aldıktan sonra yine o heyecan devam etti. Acaba bunu nerede buluruz falan diye.
Mekanlara gittiğimiz zaman eskiyle yeniyi yeniden bir farklı bir gözle araştırma ve inceleme şansımız oldu. Bu çok enteresan bir deneyimdi.
Kendimi bir keşif, bir arkeolog gibi hissettim diyebilirim. Eski eserlerle karşılaştırma yaparken, eski fotoğraflardan günümüzdeki fotoğraflara bakarken.
Bu arşiv çalışmasında ne kadar zengin bir yerde yaşadığımızı yeniden hatırladık. Bu çok güzel bir deneyimdi.